10. ADX Florence Prison, housing America's most dangerous men. A clean version of hell, they call it. Cameras are not allowed in. The Federal Bureau of Prisons won't talk about it. It is a prison for the worst of the worst. Its notorious list of inmates includes, the Unabomber, a would-be Al-Qaeda hijacker, the shoe bomber, the Olympic Park bomber, and the mastermind behind World Trade Center bombing in 1993. Inside the prison, there's a shower, a toilet, one tiny desk, stool, a poured concrete bed and a 4-inch window. There is plenty of silence. And human contact is non-existent. When prisoners do spend time outside of their cells, up to 1 hour a day, they are in yet another cell. There is no view. And it is solitary. In 20 years of the prison's operation, 7 inmates have committed suicide. None have escaped. 9. Queen Elizabeth II's bedroom, Buckingham Palace. The Queen lives in many suites on the east wing of Buckingham Palace's second floor. The suites are reachable by use of a secret door. Only a few people alive know where the door is. Buckingham Palace's public relations staff does not offer any description of the royal chambers. The public has access to tour the 19 staterooms of the palace. But the King and Queen's private quarters, the public will never get to see. But in 1982 Michael Fagan broke into Buckingham Palace. From there he wandered into the Queen's bedroom. It was a double bed, she was sleeping in there on her own. Her nightie was one of those Liberty prints and it was down to her knees, Fagan recalled. He describes the room as about 16 feet long and 12 feet wide. There was a small bed and a very dull-looking chest of drawers along the wall. Michael spent around 10 minutes talking to the Queen. Once he asked for a cigarette, the Queen called security. He proceeded to drink from the Queen's wine collection before leaving the palace. 8. Cicada 3301, secret internet organization. It is among the top 5 eeriest, unsolved mysteries of the internet, claimed the Washington Post. In 2014, Cicada posted its first message, "Hello. We are looking for highly intelligent individuals, the few that will make it all the way through. Good luck." Not one company or person has ever claimed to have joined Cicada 3301. The Cicada 3301 is a secret internet organization. It recruits people using puzzles, some of the most elaborate and intelligent puzzles the world has ever seen, and referencing works such as Johann Sebastian Bach and Ecclesiastes. Joel Erickson is one of the few people to have solved the puzzle, saying it is most likely an underground organization, anti-establishment, ideologically driven. Erickson maintains that likely no one will ever know the organization's true identity. They would probably only reveal their purpose or their ideology. And what they expect from you as a part of the group. 7. Iron Mountain, the world's official archive. Home to some of the world's most priceless treasures, 8 security guards holding AR-15s guard its entrance. It's called Iron Mountain. To go deep into the mine requires traveling about 22 stories beneath the surface of the Earth. Fortune 500 companies store databases here. Major banks back up their information here. Iron Mountain contains 27 million original negatives of the world's most famous photos, ranging from iconic photos of Albert Einstein to Rosa Parks. Also, major record labels store original master recordings here. Think Elvis and Frank Sinatra. And last but not least, Bill Gates' collection of over 100 million images rests inside. They say it can survive nuclear and terrorist attacks. More than once. Over 150 acres of underground lake pump water of 50 degrees Fahrenheit through the mine, keeping the items inside at the perfect temperature. 15 generators are ready to give power to its entire 1.8 million square feet of space. Iron Mountain employs 3 fire trucks and 2,700 people. Its archives, they say, are able to last over 5,000 years. 6. Coca-Cola's secret recipe, World of Coca-Cola Museum. Consumers drink more than 1.8 billion servings of Coke every day in over 200 countries worldwide. Based on a global study in 2011, Coca-Cola was the world's most valuable brand. We know the drink has cola nuts and coca leaves. However, the original recipe is a trade secret, which very few people have ever known. The formula was only shared with the small group in 1886 by its inventor John Stith Pemberton. It was finally written down when Asa Candler's son documented it for collateral in 1919. Candler sold the company and placed the formula in a vault in 1919 in Guaranty Bank, New York. Coca-Cola transferred the formula to Atlanta in 1925 and it stayed there until 2011, vaulted in SunTrust Bank. The secret recipe now sits in a vault on display at the Coca-Cola Museum. Any member of the public can view it. However, you will only see a black box. Inside is the original document written by Asa Candler's son in 1919. 5. North Sentinel Island, be killed on sight. Apart from a narrow beach, forest covers almost all this top-secret island. All we know is a network of pathways and several small villages are inside. The Sentinelese are indigenous to the island, rejecting with extreme hostility any outsiders. They live as hunter-gatherers and seem to have no agriculture. They have isolated themselves from outsiders for more than 60,000 years. So they are among the last groups of people completely unaffected by modern civilization. They are a most violent and cruel generation who seem to eat everybody they catch, Marco Polo once said. In 1991, Trilokanath Pandit made peaceful contact. Yet he also said, they would turn their backs to us and sit on their haunches as if to defecate. They always attack outsiders with spears and arrows. In 2012, an escaped convict died on the island with his throat split wide open. The Indian government has declared this island an exclusion zone. And it is illegal to go within 3 miles. 4. The tomb of Genghis Khan, are we close to finding it? 1 in every 200 men are hereditary relatives of Genghis Khan, one of history's greatest commanders. From a small tribe, he grew the Mongolian Empire. And his resting place is completely unknown, as dictated by Mongolian traditions. When a tomb is completely undisturbed, there is protection for the soul. Legend has it, 800 soldiers massacred all 2,000 people at his funeral before killing themselves. The ground was then trampled by horses for several months. Finally, a river diverted over it to hide the tomb's location. Dr. Albert Lin of the University of California is leading a crowdsourcing effort, investigating over 84,000 images utilizing drone aircraft technology. Around 10,000 volunteers have surveyed more than 2,300 square miles. The search is now down to 55 archaeological sites. The body is likely near the sacred Mongolian mountain Kaldam, near Genghis Khan's birthplace. At any rate, this mystery should solve itself before the end of the century. 3. Virosha, Forbidden Place, frozen in time. Virosha is a ghost town. In the 1970s, this town was one of the most popular tourist attractions in the world, home to 40,000 people. To go with the flow of all the new tourists, many high-rise buildings and hotels became available. Elizabeth Taylor and many other celebrities visited the town. The rich and famous flocked to its vibrant lifestyle and perfect beaches by the dozens. Now, many of the buildings are falling apart. Plants are taking root in walls and pavement. Sea turtles are nesting on its deserted beaches. Trees are sprouting through living rooms. Virosha's inhabitants fled during the Turkish invasion in 1974. The Turkish took control of the town, and it is still abandoned to this day. No one from the public can step foot inside. The only people allowed access are Turkish military and United Nations staff. Soldiers must obey orders to shoot on sight anyone who tries to breach its gates. No photos and movies allowed. 2. Skull and Bones, a very powerful secret society. Skull and Bones is a secret society at Yale University. Allegedly, George W. Bush's grandfather dug up Apache warrior Geronimo's grave in 1918. Placing the warrior's skull, 2 bones, and riding gear on display inside the tomb, the headquarters of the society. Alumni have made up many of the world's most powerful leaders, controlling the wealth of the Carnegie, Rockefeller, and Ford families. Members have also held positions in the CIA and some of the world's most powerful law firms. William Russell founded the group in 1832 after spending time among many elite clubs of the world in Germany, including the Illuminati. There were only 800 Bones men alive at any given time. Their main purpose is to get as many members into positions of power as possible. During initiation ceremonies, strange whispers and moans reportedly come from within the tomb. At least, back in the old days. Henry Luce of Time magazine reportedly laid in a coffin naked while talking about his sex life. 1. The eighth wonder of the world, the Amber Room. It's described as the eighth wonder of the world. It was a gift given to Peter the Great of Russia from Prussia as a symbol of peace in 1716. It consisted of 6 tons of amber plates, a value of $150 million in today's currency. During World War II, German soldiers stole the room 36 hours after the Nazis' arrival at Catherine Palace, where they proceeded to dismantle it and transfer it to the Baltic coast. The fate of the Amber Room is a mystery. Was the Amber Room destroyed during the war? Or was it placed in a secure hiding place? If found, it could prove the most valuable piece of art in the world. Treasure hunters have searched far and wide for the Amber Room to no avail. In 1997, German police found a single panel from the room. Several people believe the Amber Room is likely within a huge underground storage network underneath Tischendorf, a municipality in Saxon, Germany. Finally, Piotr Koper and Andreas Richter reported finding a Nazi gold train on September 18, 2015, which they claimed could contain the original Amber Room. It was in southwest Poland. Its location became known as result of a German man on his deathbed.